Hi folks. So today we're going to be working with interest. We're going to start out with simple interest today. Find interest, find payments. You'll need your calculator and some paper and a pencil. You may want to stop the recording a little bit so you can keep up with your notes. And what I will do is I'll also post these same notes so you can print the notes and then you can write on them while you're watching the video. Okay, so looking at our formula, I equals PRT. I is your interest, P stands for your principal, which means your original amount, and T is your time, but it has to be in years. So if it was 6 months, it would be half a year. So let's start out with the basic example. We've borrowed $12,000 at 6% interest for 5 years. Find the interest. So we would just do your interest is P. Your interest you have to enter as a decimal, and fortunately that is in years. So we'll have 12,000 times 0.06 times 5. So that gives us interest of $3,600, which means that we would repay all of the $12,000 plus $3,600. So we repay $15,600. Okay, you may want to stop the recording just a minute, kind of get your notes fixed, and then we will go on and do the next one. Okay. So this time our time is not in years. It's in 9 months. So 9 months is 9/12 of a year, or sorry, 9/12 would be 0.75, so that would be our time in years. So this time our interest is P, your rate as a decimal, and then our time in years. If you just typed in 9, it would think we were doing 9 months. So 1,000 times 0.07 times 0.75. So we're paying back, it says 52.5, but we know that that's really $52.50 in interest, and we will add that to our $1,000. So we're paying back $1,052.50. Okay, so that is pretty straightforward. Okay, so example 3, this time we know how much we borrowed, $2,500. We know how long we borrowed it, 2 years, and we know how much interest we paid back. But what you don't know is the rate. So you have 4 variables, and we're going to know 3 of the 4. So this time we know the interest, we know the principal, we don't know the rate, and we do know the time. So 2,500 times 2 is 5,000 times R. We'll divide both sides by 5,000, and it will give you a decimal to begin with, but typically you'll want to write your rate as a percent. So 180 divided by 1,000 is 0.036, and we know that you can just move your decimal 2 places. So your interest rate would have been 3.6%. Okay. So in example 4, we know our principal, we know the interest, we know the interest rate. We don't know how long the loan was taken out for. So we will plug that in. I equals PRT. I equals principal times your rate as a decimal times time. So 4,200 times 0.065, so I got 273. So 819 divided by 273 is 3 years. So you'll notice on all of those that we will be given 3 of the 4 decimals. We may be trying to find the interest, we may be trying to find the rate, we may try to find the time, but we will know 3 of the 4 decimals. Okay, the next problem will have a couple of different steps. Okay, so here we go. We want to buy furniture that sells for $3,400, and you can't pay cash, and you agreed to make $150 payments for 3 years in this rent-to-own program. So how much do we end up paying back? So we'll take our payment of $150 and then multiply by how many payments that you're going to make. 3 years would be, and I didn't say it, but I would assume that these were monthly payments. So we will multiply that by 36. 36 times 150, you end up paying back $5,400. You know, that's a lot. Okay, and so you go, how much of that was interest? Well, if you subtract out your principal, you end up paying $2,000 in interest. Okay, so they never tell you this, but what would be the interest rate? Okay, so at this point, we know I equals PRT, we know the interest, 2,000, we know our principal, 3,400, we don't know the rate, and we do know the time, and it's the time in years, not months. So 3,400 times 3 is 10,200. So we'll divide both sides by 10,200. Divided by 10,200, and you get 0.196 or 19.6%. So what are your thoughts on rent to own? It's a really bad plan. You shouldn't rent to own TVs for the Super Bowl. Don't rent to own furniture. You should go to like Goodwill or I don't know, the hospice place. Buy used furniture, but don't go this rent to own route. Last one, I promise. Okay, this time we're going to find monthly payments. If we borrow $10,000 at 5% for 4 years, we'll first of all find the amount of simple interest. Okay, so I equals P R T, so that will give us our interest, 10,000 times 0.05 times 4, $2,000. Okay, so the amount that we pay back would be $12,000, and then find our monthly payment. So you take the total amount that you pay back and divide by how many payments that we would have. So we'll divide that by 48 monthly payments. Oops. So that ends up being $250. Okay, let me know if I can help you with anything. So, hope you're doing well.